3 lighthouse keepers stationed on a desolate rock, far from the world, far from rescue, and to this day, no one knows what really happened to them. The mystery begins with the arrival of the Hesperus, a supply ship bound for the Eilean Mòr Lighthouse, part of the Flannan Isles off the western coast of Scotland. The ship had been delayed by rough winter seas, but when it finally arrived on December 26th, the crew immediately sensed something was wrong. The lighthouse, normally a beacon of safety in the stormy night, was dark. The captain sounded the ship's horn. No answer. He signaled with flares. Still nothing. It was as if the island itself had been abandoned. A landing party was sent ashore, climbing the steep cliffs that led up to the lighthouse. The men expected to find the keepers inside, maybe tending to a fire, ready to greet them. But as they stepped inside, they realized this was not an ordinary absence. This was something much worse. The air inside the lighthouse was still, not just quiet, unnaturally still. The keepers were nowhere to be found, but their presence lingered in eerie ways. The kitchen table was set. Plates of untouched food sat waiting. A chair had been knocked over, as if someone had risen in a hurry. The fireplace was cold, though there were signs it had been recently used. Their oilskins, heavy coats worn to protect against the elements, were missing except for one. Most unsettling of all was the logbook. The last recorded entry was dated December 15th, over a week before. It read,
"The storm rages on, the seas are wild, God is over all."
But there was something strange about this. According to official weather reports, there had been no storm on that day, not a single one. It was as if the keepers had been experiencing a storm. That didn't exist. And then, just like that, the log entry stopped. No sign-off, no explanation, no clue as to where they went. 3 men, isolated on a rocky outpost in the middle of the sea, simply vanished. For over a century, people have tried to explain what happened on Eilean Mòr, but no theory has ever quite fit. The most commonly accepted idea is that a massive rogue wave hit the island, sweeping the men into the sea. The western landing, where supplies were brought in, showed signs of severe storm damage. Ropes were torn from their fastenings and sections of rock were heavily disturbed. The theory suggests that 2 of the men were caught outside securing supplies when a wave hit. The third, realizing what had happened, ran out to help, only to be taken himself. But there's a problem with this theory. Why would all 3 men leave the lighthouse at the same time during dangerous conditions, knowing the risks? And why was one coat still hanging on its peg inside? If there was truly a storm, why didn't at least one of them stay behind? Another possibility is that one of the men lost his mind. Isolation does strange things to the human mind. Trapped on a barren rock with nothing but the howling wind and the endless sea, paranoia can creep in. Some believe that one keeper snapped, killed his fellow men, and then, overcome with madness or guilt, threw himself into the waves. It would explain the knocked-over chair, the eerie final log entry, and the sudden silence. But there's no evidence of a struggle, no blood, no signs of violence, just emptiness. And then there's the third and most unsettling theory. For centuries, the Flannan Isles have been shrouded in folklore. The island was once home to ancient Celtic ruins, places where old gods were worshipped before the arrival of Christianity. Local fishermen have long whispered that the island is cursed, a place that should not be disturbed. Some believe that the keepers were taken by something beyond human understanding. Perhaps they saw something they shouldn't have. Perhaps they heard a voice on the wind and followed it into the sea. Or perhaps, in their final moments, they weren't alone. The Eilean Mòr Lighthouse still stands, but no one lives there anymore. Automated long ago, the beacon now operates without human hands, blinking endlessly into the night. But the legend has never faded. Even today, passing ships report strange lights flickering in the tower, long after the sun is set. And some sailors say that if you listen carefully, above the crashing of the waves, you can hear whispers on the wind, 3 voices calling out for help. What do you think happened to the lost lighthouse keepers? Was it a freak accident, a descent into madness, or something far stranger? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love chilling real-life mysteries, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more terrifying true stories. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.